What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Most Valuable Podcast. I am Mark Williams with my colleague
Victor Castro.
and we're just two dudes who do real estate for a living. And today we have a very special guest with us. He is with or runs Alvarez and Associates, part of Boulevard Real Estate, the president of NORA. And what's NORA stand for again, Ricky?
It's a tongue twister, bro. It's the National Hispanic Organization of Real Estate Associates, and I'm the president of our East Bay chapter. So,
Nice, man. Nice. So you heard his voice. We have Ricky J. Alvarez with us, and we are super excited to have him as a guest today. We've been a guest. If you haven't tuned in, he has a YouTube series called Tequila and Transactions, and myself and Victor have been a guest of that show where we talk real estate, we talk life, and we drink tequila.
Yeah.
And he's actually turned me on to tequila a little bit because I was not. Every memory I had with tequila was a blur. So thanks for being on our podcast today, man. We really appreciate it. We're neighbors in the office.
Real talk,
right here at Industrious in Concord. And if you are looking for a great real estate agent, someone who's super knowledgeable, trustworthy, and you're just looking to shop around and you want to talk to Ricky, hey, he has our full support. I would love to do more business with him, but in my 8 years of experience, every time I've crossed your path or reached out to you on a property or a question, you've been nothing but professional and friendly, and really appreciate that in the industry, man.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate you too, bro. It's likewise. And
yeah,
I don't know, I can't say the same for Victor, but no, I'm just kidding. You guys are cool as hell, man. Vibe with you guys all the time. Every time I feel like I have a question, you guys are cool as shit, always willing to help out and vice versa. So, it's cool. Even though we're different companies, same office,
yeah.
We got the same goals in mind, so it's cool.
And we're native to Jalisco.
There you go. Same,
that's the connection that we have right
there
there.
you go. Swear
Right,
straight
so
up, bro.
I'm associated through marriage.
His wife is from
Jalisco. She wasn't born. Her family's from Jalisco.
There you go.
She's from East LA, bro.
She's
a chola.
Chola.
Just kidding. She's probably listening to this right now going, oh my gosh, I'm going to kill them.
Yeah.
But, we were talking, let's talk about that. So, there's a big misconception in this industry that I think some clients, and in this podcast, we usually our topics go towards buyers and sellers, right? We do get some real estate agents that watch, and, hopefully they learn some stuff from us as well and give us some feedback as well. But, that's a big thing. What I've done in this 8 years, what I've noticed is either clients think we all work together.
Right.
Everyone's the same. All real estate agents are the same. They work for the same companies, whatever. They don't understand the difference. Or B, within the industry, everyone's out to get each other, right? Everything's
competitive,
super competitive, and so I know you've been doing this for a while. You come from background, right? Your dad did real estate, or in real estate?
Well, yeah, family's in real estate.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we're more commercial. So all of our life's been commercial, multifamily. So residential wasn't really a thing. So that's where I came in the picture. They were always kind of nudging me all my life, kind of someone in the family needs to do it. So I figured, why not be me?
So what's your experience being part of NORA? Because NORA, there's agents from all different brokerages and stuff like that working together. I know you guys do workshops for first-time home buyers and stuff like that. So in your experience, what do you think is what's the experience with you working with other agents in different brokerages and different teams? And have you had good experiences and bad experiences? I think it's something that doesn't get talked about a lot. So I got a story that I can elaborate on, but I would love to hear what you think about that.
No, for sure, bro. I think it's important. I think that if you come from a place of collaboration, you're going to go a lot farther in this industry. I think people don't really understand how small our industry really is, especially here in the Bay Area. If you do good business and you're visual, if you're out and about on social media, people know you, right? Or at least know of you and cross paths with you either online or, through, networking or even working in our day-to-day jobs, out in the field. So I think, it doesn't get talked about enough, but I think ultimately when I came into this industry, I came with a different mindset. My mindset was to develop as many relationships as I could, whether it was in the industry and outside the industry with clients, et cetera. So I wanted to come in and make as many friends as possible because I know at the end of the day, if you guys are looking at my offer and you guys are cool with me, you might be a little bit more inclined to tell your clients, like,
Yeah.
you know what, I've hung out with Ricky. Ricky's a straight shooter. He has good. I mean, he's always closed on his deals. I see he's a hardworking guy. You know, I think that this is a good option for us. I much rather you guys tell your clients that than vice versa. On the flip, on the other side of the spectrum, be like, this guy's a douchebag. This guy like doesn't collaborate with us. Like he's in our office and he's a jerk. Like this and that. Like you guys could tell your clients whatever you want behind closed
Yeah.
And
doors.
it happens. It's gonna happen.
Oh, I've been in those conversations.
Yeah.
You know, when I've seen agents write offers for my listings, I've told my buyers or my sellers what I
What you
think.
think about them? Yeah.
Yeah, because they ask sometimes. They're like, "Well, what do you think about this agent? Do you know anything about them?"
Yeah.
Especially when people are close.
Yeah.
And they want to know. Like they want to know what aren't they seeing on this black and white document, right? Like who are these people? Because it's one thing to look at the buyers and be like, okay, cool, they got the money, they wrote a good offer. But who's this agent? Like who's leading them into battle, right? Who's leading them through this journey? So I think that's a super important. I think for me, I've been fortunate enough to be a part of a lot of organizations in my 10-year plus career in real estate. And for me, it's been much more rewarding working in collaborative environments
Yeah.
and working with other agents and other lenders and other title reps and folks like that because I mean, I feel so much more, I would say just empowered and ultimately supported to have a lot of relationships where I know if I need something, I can pivot, right?
Yeah.
Like if my lender can't do something, I have 4, 5, 6, 7 other lenders I can go to that can help my clients. So I think having those relationships that can help you get through difficult situations, it's extremely important to have that, just have that freaking that book of relationships of people you could just reach in and call on. You know what I mean? So it's like even with realtors, bro, like people don't understand how important it is to be able to collaborate with others. One, your reputation is always going to follow you. Number one. Number two, it's like you don't want to leave a bad taste in people's mouth. And at the end of the day, like you want people to know the fact that you're gonna get the deal done, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you guys know about me and know that I get the deal done, you guys are more inclined to be willing to tell your sellers like this guy's a solid guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
puts me in a better position, puts my client in a better position. So why do I have the time and the energy to fucking excuse my language?
No,
I don't know
you're
if I'm
good.
allowed to cuss on the show.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
but
Podcast.
like, why would I put myself at a disadvantage? Number one, as having that reputation, and two, putting my clients at a disadvantage just because I don't want to collaborate with y'all or collaborate with anybody else. Don't get me wrong. There's those realtors out there I don't want to even fuck with them. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
talk to them. I don't want to see them. If I'm doing a deal with them, I'm very like to the point because I know how they are,
Yeah.
And there's people out there who their reputation is everything and they take it to the next level to the point where they're like trying to belittle you. I don't mess with that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I've dealt with that a little bit when I first started, whatever. I moved past that. But now being in this industry for 10 years, like we're gonna respect each other, else this ain't gonna work. You know
Ricky,
what I mean?
would you say, and this is just me
Yeah.
being, I think less time in the industry versus you and Mark.
Mhm.
I've noticed that this always happens with the older agents. The agents that's been in the industry for 20, 30 plus years.
And they make sure you know that they've been in the industry 20
Yeah.
plus years.
Let's say seasoned.
Yes,
Because
season. Yeah.
older, it's just like, they're not senior communities, they're 55 plus.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
I'm 12 years away from being in those communities. So you making me feel old. But no, I'm just joking. But yeah, the seasoned
Professional.
10, 15, 20 years. And finish what you're saying, but yeah, like I'm dealing with something like that right now, right?
No, yeah,
So,
and me and Mark have plenty of stories to share. We just had, we'll talk about that as well, where
yeah,
some agent was trying to threaten him.
Uh-huh.
That's what it felt like, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're starting to farm certain neighborhoods and stuff like that, and I feel like this agent was a little bit, intimidated by.
The two young, good-looking
the,
guys
the,
trying to
the sign in the neighborhood of some,
Yeah, of course.
So,
Of course.
and he's an older agent, right?
Yeah.
It just happens to be coincidentally
Seasoned.
an older agent. I'm just gonna say how it is.
Yeah.
Older.
Yeah, for real.
older and works for KW. Enough said.
And yeah, man. I mean, what's your take on that? With the older proud. The older agents, hey,
Man.
we're not saying all older
No,
agents
I'm not.
are
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
messed up, but
To be honest, and there's some really,
There's some
really
great ones.
yeah,
yeah, there's
Yeah.
some great ones who know their shit. They're gonna literally, like, they keep the transaction moving because they're on top of their shit, like, they know, those are the type of agents who are gonna send you a letter to perform 48 hours before your contingencies are due,
Yeah.
which they can do that, and so
and it's not to be
and it's
taken to
not to be
heart.
no, and the
Yeah,
people need to understand that it's business, that's how they've
you're
done
protecting your
things.
client.
They're
That's it.
protecting their client.
I actually appreciate
Hey,
that because I'm that guy.
yeah. Or like in the city or even Livermore, a lot of agents have EMDs due in 24 hours.
Yep.
And that's not really the case here in the East Bay. You don't see that a lot. It's usually 72 hours, right? You do 3 days to submit your EMD or it's money deposit. But like there's certain things that old school seasoned agents do, like, and that's just their way of doing things. And I mean, there's no wrong doing it. But, there's some great ones out there who really protect their clients. They go about it the right way. They're good people.
Yeah.
But then there's some out there who let their egos get in the way. And that's what I don't mess with, bro. It's like, come on, bro. Like, we're not selling sunset here. This ain't no like I drive a nicer car than you or you have a better listing than me kind of thing. It is what it is. We're all gonna have great listings. We're all gonna drive nice cars. I mean, shit, I'm jealous of Mark's old school, but like but everyone has, their strengths, you know what I mean? Everybody has what makes them a great agent. People are gonna work with you for that. Like,
Yes.
get over yourself, bro. You're not gonna work with everybody. And I had to like really check myself too. Like, I can't work with everybody. Not everyone's gonna be a good fit for me. And yet, like as a young agent, I'm like, I want to fucking help the world, right? And then I'm like, no, wait a minute. Like, I can't help the world because not everybody meshes with me. Plus, and I don't want to work with people who don't want to listen to me or also who don't want to um just have that reciprocal relationship where like, hey, we trust each other, we're going
Yeah.
in this together. But yeah, I mean, I don't appreciate it. I don't like it when I've been doing this for 20 years. I get it. You've been doing it for 20 years, but like this is 2025 and we do shit a little different now. Like shit has changed and there's technology involved, there's all these other things involved and like I mean, I think that's why a lot of people aren't renewing their license. I think that's why a lot of people are stepping away, and I think they were all afraid of this, having to sign these documents and having to go after the buyer broker agreement. But it's like it's not that hard, bro. It's like people
It's
don't
literally the
understand.
same. Nothing's changed
Nothing
in
has
my book of
changed.
business. Like in
Exactly.
my day-to-day operations,
Have
like
we?
nothing has changed.
And then everyone asks, "Oh, have we made less money?" Have like, no, I haven't.
No.
I haven't seen one dip in my business. I've asked for more commission, and that's worked sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes like it's now part of the negotiation, which kind of sucks. But it is what it is. Like,
Honestly, to me, Ricky, and this is just my opinion, I don't think it sucks. I honestly have
I like
had
the
better
transparency.
experiences.
Yes.
Way better. I feel like
Yeah.
you're forced to be transparent with the client.
Yeah. And now they know what you're fighting for, and
Absolutely.
you're not taking it out of their pocket.
Yes.
So it's like, and they know like shit, I'm fighting for you just as much as I'm fighting for my fee. Like I want you to get this house, but I also want to get paid. I gotta feed myself. I gotta
Yeah.
take
And
a
if
nice
they have to,
vacation.
and if they do have to pay you, right?
Correct, yeah.
Let's just say you're doing a transaction and for whatever reason the seller is just not budging and only
Mhm.
wants to cover 1% of the buyer brokerage and they really want this home, there's a possibility they're going to have to pay that difference. And to Victor's standpoint is that client now, the buyer's going to be like, what did Mark really do for me where he deserves 10 grand out of my pocket?
Mhm.
As opposed to you called me on Zillow, I opened the door, and then we wrote an offer, and now I'm in contract, and I didn't know you were getting paid. And
No
once
rapport. No
yeah,
rapport.
yeah,
No
you know what I'm saying?
relationship
There's no
building.
rapport, and then
Nothing.
how many times have you run and you've been in this business 10 years, so you obviously have established clients. You run I think the reason we get along is we kind of have the same vision, relationship-based business, right?
Exactly.
You said a good point, like, I'm not going to mesh with everybody, and there's enough business to go around.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
in this one neighborhood where I have a listing right now that we're farming, there's almost 1,000 homes. There's no way, let's just say on average 30 of them get sold a year. I'm not gonna I wouldn't probably be able to do 30 listings in one neighborhood if all 30 came at once. There's no way I can do it financially, or there's not 30 marks to do it, right? There comes a
Right.
limit where you help enough clients where if you don't have extra support, like a partner or team members, your level of service is going to drop. It's
Exactly.
proven, right?
Yep.
And then it's like everyone knows a real estate agent. Everyone has a referral. Like, would I like 30 interviews? Of course, but I'm probably not going to link up with 30 people, right? So, the point I'm making is it's like you have to build these relationships. And how many times I've been in a position where it's like they used another agent to buy the home, but now they're using you to sell it,
Right.
right?
That happens a
And
lot.
it's like, and then maybe you're doing the sell and buy, and they're like, wait, this isn't how it was when we bought the home initially. We wrote off or never heard from them, got the keys, never heard from them again, right? It's like the churn and burn mentality. And it's that's where we get things. That's where I think like these lawsuits that we're
Happen.
talking about, the
Yeah.
commission came from. It's like the churn and burn. And then people are sitting there like, wait, that person got paid what?
Yeah.
To do what?
Yep.
There should be no question of how much I got paid. And
Yeah.
your client should feel like it wasn't enough. That's how I
And
operate.
it's happened.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
deserve more.
I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually little side thing, like my listing in Walnut Creek, we were getting ready to close, and I'm sending my client over her settlement statement, and she's like, "Wait, this is incorrect." And I'm like, and everything looks correct, right? And I'm like, "No, it's correct." She goes, "No, you guys are only charging me 2.5%." And I was like, "Yeah, we're only charging 2.5% for our end, but you're paying 2.5% to the other side." She goes, "Oh, no, I thought I was paying you guys 5%." And, like, talking about me and my associate, right? Me and my cousin who's my associate, Alex. And I was like, "No." She goes, "No, this is not enough." And I've had people say things like that or buy me gifts, and I'm like, "I appreciate all that
Yeah,
stuff,"
yeah.
right? But, like, that was probably one time where I really had a seller, like, vocalize, like, "This is not enough, like, you guys did so much for me." And I'm like, "Holy shit, like, I'll take more money,"
Yeah.
but that's just not how it. I mean, at
Yeah,
that
yeah,
point, it's
yeah,
like,
for sure.
we're already
We're already
like, that
there,
was already
yeah.
agreed upon,
Yeah.
right? It is what it is. I'm like, "Y'all you could take us out to dinner." I
Yeah.
was like, I like going to Tomahawk Tuesdays in Fleming's in Walnut Creek." And she started laughing, but it's like, that is a gratifying experience
Yes.
for me. That's when I'm like, dude, like, and sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough, and I think that's just me as a person, right? But then to have her be like, "No, you guys fucking killed it.
Yeah.
You guys did more than what I could expect from you guys." And I'm like, "Holy shit." And she's like, I honestly thought I was paying you guys 5%. I said, "Oh shit." Like, that would have been nice, but at the same time, like, just to have her tell us that, like, I feel much better. She's moving on to something better, you know what I mean? And for me, it's like I get to sleep at night knowing that my client was extremely happy with what we did for her. So that was a cool experience. But yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to your guys' point. It's like, if we're not communicating these things, or our clients don't see how hard we're working or all the value that we provide and all this stuff that we're doing for them, it's like, then at that point, like, yeah, like, they should feel that. They should see that, right? And it's like, sometimes you have those people that just come in and come out. And it's like, we were talking about that even before we even started recording. It's like, you have these people, don't know the area, show up, have a good sales pitch perhaps, get the listing agreement signed, take pictures with their cell phone, and it's
Oh
already
my
on the market.
gosh.
And
That's
it's
right.
like, dude, it just like, it's like, how are you guys getting hired? It's like, maybe you guys got a real good mouthpiece, and like, people were pressured into signing, or I don't know what the hell voodoo you guys did behind the scenes, but how are your clients like looking at other listings in the area and then looking at theirs and feeling like this is the best we can do? It's like,
And
dude,
I
it's
don't get,
horrible.
let's dive into
That's
that because
horrible,
I think
bro.
that
it,
happens
it
a lot in the
drives me
Latino community.
it drives me crazy.
We'll talk about that in a
I
minute.
think it happens in every community.
It
but
No,
happens a
it
lot.
does, but, like, I
No.
think our people is just on another level of misinformed, taken advantage of.
Yeah,
I see it all the time.
yeah,
And it's like we need to change the standard. And I
oh
think
yeah, for
me and Ricky
sure.
spoke about this in the
Yeah,
in your podcast when I was
yeah,
an invite. It's unbelievable how much we see of it, and
yep,
man, it's crazy. But
It's one of those things where I think it's just so, I know we were talking about the seasoned agent and how are they getting business. I think it's just something that's ingrained in like American culture when it comes to real estate.
mm,
There's like traditions. Everything has like a tradition, right?
yeah,
Like we're big sports guys, right? Like football has a tradition, baseball has
right.
its traditions. Even though times change, there's like traditions and like unspoken rules. And I feel like to me, it drives me crazy, right? We see it. We have this listing in Concord right now, and everyone that walked in didn't. we pride ourselves, like, if someone lives there, when we're selling the home, why they live there, when you walk in, you think no one lives there.
Mhm.
Like, we're big on it, and we're very comfortable in our own skin as real estate agents, like, giving our clients guidance, like,
Yeah,
"Hey,"
for sure.
and if there's pushback, we say, "We understand your concern, but you hired me to do a job, and this is what is proven that works, right? So I get it. But how can I assist you to make it less stressful or help you out? But we're still doing what I said
Yeah.
because this is what you're paying me to do."
This is our process.
I had probably 20 groups come in this last weekend, agents and people without agents, and everyone said, "People live here?" The only way they knew people lived there is they saw the closets. When,
Yeah.
like, they're clean, but they
Yeah.
saw clothes there. They're like, "Oh, those are, like,
Yeah.
actually there's a family?" I said, "Yeah, there's a family with 2 little girls that live here." They're like, "I don't see any toys." I'm like, "Yeah, they're in storage." You know? So, I was like, "Open the garage." It's a little crazy in there, but,
Yeah, that's usually where you know people are living there.
Yeah.
In the garage, you're like, "Oh, god damn,
yeah.
this is all where their stuff is."
But, like, I had this one client come in, he's like, "Dude, this is very impressive, Mark. You did a really good job because we're in the market for a home, and we've been looking at homes with people that live there, and they're terrible.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
people live in their homes, but like there was no effort given to straighten it up or make it look nice or presentable.
Mhm.
Maybe they declare a little bit, but you got all their stuff and belongings and pictures on the wall and all this. And I told the guy straight up, I said, "I appreciate that. Like, that's the nicest thing that's been said to me today. That means I'm doing something right." And he was like, "Oh, you're definitely doing something right." And I said, "Yeah, cool. Just so you know, those people are probably charging the same amount I charge. Because we take pride in what we do, right?" And where I'm going with this is that tradition is you use who your parents used. You
Yeah.
use who your uncle recommended. You
Correct.
use who
The
is the
neighbor.
family realtor. You don't interview people. You don't.
You
People don't interview
and
people. It's
and
crazy.
that's my point in the Latino community. They just take your word for it. Oh,
Mhm.
well, the neighbor told me that she was a good neighbor during COVID when you didn't have to do anything, right? You didn't have to do like any remodeling, any presentation to the home. It was going to sell
It
over
was gonna
asking.
yeah.
Well, that's a different market.
Yeah, exactly.
The agent isn't explaining you these things and expects you're going to get $150,000 over asking. They're lying to you. They're lying
Mhm.
to
But my
you.
pushback to that, Victor, is like, why does your process change because it's easier? Like, yours don't, but I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
they were able to sell good in COVID because everything sold, but, like, why would you skip a step? Just because because it's gonna cut on your overhead? You get what I'm getting? Like, that's the mind frame, like, that's why people need to interview people. It's like, "What's your process to sell this home?
Mhm.
Show me the proof." There's no proof.
Mhm.
I've been on ones. I'm sure you have. We all been on listing agreements,
Yeah,
listing,
yeah.
give a listing
Yeah.
presentation,
Yep.
and listing interviews, and the client goes, "Oh, I'm gonna interview 3 people," and it's like, yeah, interview them, cool. Yeah, let me
Absolutely.
know what I'm providing you. Let me know if they do the same. If they do the same, even for cheaper, you should hire
That's what we say.
them.
And that's how we get them. It's like, okay, well, they're not adding any more value to what their price is. So if their price is cheaper, but they're not doing exactly the same process and presentation and all that,
Well, yeah, they're cutting corners on
they're your
them. Yeah.
exactly. So are
It's
you
yeah.
really being put in a position to sell your home for more?
Mhm.
And that's how we get the seals the job usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys always give up your whole play? Like, if they tell you, "Hey, I'm interviewing 3 people," do you give them everything?
No, so
Because what I'm always weary of is, like, they're gonna go tell the next people, and
what
I
you're
always
gonna
ask,
do?
like, "Are you interviewing me first? Am I the last person?"
Yes.
Because then I'm like, if I'm the last person, I'm gonna fucking go for it. I'm gonna tell you, "This is what I'm gonna do. This is how we're gonna do it. This is how I'm gonna make it." But I feel like sometimes if I'm, like, the first one and they're still interviewing 2 more people, I don't want them to go tell that, like, the next, "Oh, well, this realtor said he was gonna do this and that for this price," or
Yeah.
for the or whatever it is. So then sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna tell you, but I'm not gonna essentially give you my whole playbook. Like, I want you guys to also understand that, like, what you get is there's value there, and if you wanna work with me, I'd love the opportunity, right? But I don't tell them everything from A to Z that I'm gonna do because at the same time, like, I don't wanna give that
You
up so they can
you're
just
putting yourself in a hole essentially. Well,
I
I
mean, we don't give our playbook, so our strategy, and it's no secret. I mean, other agents do this as well. I'm more than happy to share, and uh, you know, it is what it is. Is we go into our strategy or how we operate at MVP Real Estate. It's basically when I go to that listing appointment, I
Yeah.
don't even want to talk business. You already got the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Presentation was given beforehand.
Yeah, me too.
I'm there to build rapport.
Right.
I'm there to check out the property.
And answer the
100%.
questions.
I'm there to answer your questions. Now, giving the whole playbook, no. I'm not going to tell you exactly how I want to renovate your house. I'm not going to
Right.
tell you exactly you know what is included,
Correct.
maybe to that extent, but you don't know the order it's done. You don't know who I use.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, some of the stuff we do.
Yeah, you're not
until
gonna.
that
Yeah.
contract is signed, then I go into details.
Yeah, you're not gonna tell them everything
Didn't
you do for
happen to
marketing.
me.
Yeah.
It didn't happen to me. There's an agent, a cool agent. I won't say him or her name, but they had that happen to them where they went and they gave a presentation and they did like a punch list of renovations for the house, like things that should get done.
Yeah.
And then they didn't get the listing. And then next thing you know, a month later, a listing comes on and everything on that punch list was done.
Yeah.
So in that respect, no.
Yeah.
You don't get the secrets, the full secrets. You don't get the ingredients to the sauce until we sign that contract. But you get to taste the sauce a little bit.
You know what I tell them?
Yeah, for real.
You know what I tell them, and it's usually the truth. Your house doesn't need a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it vague. Keep it just general. Like your house is really nice. It just needs a couple things. You don't need to go into detail.
Yeah.
Just make them feel good that your home is already in a good position. We're just gonna make it better.
Yeah.
That's it.
So it's more like a high level presentation.
Yeah. I've always been like, always been fucking worried of that. That's why I don't always give everything. Like I've never gone into a listing presentation, like knock on wood, but I've never been not hired. Or like if they say, oh, I'm gonna interview. Sometimes I feel like they say, oh, I'm gonna interview somebody else just so that I could feel like, so I could feel like I'm like I need to like really win this over. I feel sometimes sellers do that, like, oh, I'm interviewing other people, and then I get a call later that we're not gonna interview you, buddy. We're gonna go with you. I'm like, all right, cool, right? But I've had it happen to me with a buyer, and that was before the buyer broker agreement, right? And it was from a past client referred me over a family member, and this family member calls me, and there's a house on the market that they really liked, and they're asking me questions, and then all the recommendations I gave them, they went and told their homie that was a realtor, wrote up the deal, and they got in escrow. I'm like, I'm never doing that shit again.
Yeah,
you live, you learn.
Well, yeah, but I'm like, I trusted it. That it was a referral from a good friend, a client, and damn near family. And then I'm talking to their family, and I'm feeling like, I'm just being honest with them. This is what I would do. The house has been on the market for 30 days. This is what I would do. And I was like, let's go take a look at it. I'm happy to take you guys again. And then, we can write up the offer, right? And then I get a text later like, you know what, my friend's actually gonna write. I'm like, dude, and then really, bro? And then you're gonna take all my advice and give it to your homie so he could get the deal? It is what it is. At that point, I'm like, whatever, I didn't do any work. I just answered a call, but it's like, I'm never going to give people my advice for free again. You know what I mean? Just because,
we're
unless it's like my dad or my mom, then it's like whatever. They get my free advice all the time.
And it's that's a great point, Ricky. It's like, it's like a fine line, right?
Yeah.
And like, for instance, we all have a circle of friends and family, and we want to be known as the go-to person when it comes to real estate. But sometimes they got like I said, like a family realtor, or maybe a part of your friend's family that you're not really close with. They have an agent that's recommended. I'm kind of going through something similar right now, and I'm more than happy to give as much advice as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But Victor knows me, and he's been at my house when I had like parties. I told people this, like, I'm a straight shooter. I'll tell you, like, hey, I'm only telling you this right now because I care about you and my friend.
Mm-hmm.
But anymore, like, I need to be hired.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is what I do for a living.
Right.
You like coming over to my house for the Super Bowl? Well, this pays for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, send me deals.
Yeah,
send me deals. I want to still come over.
I took that from him early in my career because I had a lot of people reaching out to me asking me hundreds of questions, and I was always willing to answer them.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, watch them go work with another agent.
I know.
And you just spent all this time, and I did that, and I took it for what it was, and I said, hey, thank you for asking me these questions. I would love to answer them, but you already hired your cousin. They had already hired their cousin. Like, you decided to work with them.
Correct.
Go ask him.
Correct. Yeah.
Exactly.
Why are you reaching out to me after you hired him?
It's not to be
right?
rude. It's
but it's also like we shouldn't be involved in those conversations anyways.
We shouldn't, because we're not on the agreement.
Exactly.
We're not
and
on
that's
the
thing
agreement.
that's scary too. Is like, and then we're we don't want to be saying some shit we shouldn't be saying. And sometimes we can be brutally honest, and I rather not ruffle nobody's feathers. I rather go figure it out yourself. Like we're not named on. Like I'm not a part of this deal, so I can't really mention it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can count the many times where I gotten those calls, or I've gotten calls from past clients who I fought for, and maybe they didn't get a house, and then later fucking listening to fucking Bigger Pockets or David
Yeah.
Green and getting referred to one of David Green's realtors or whatever. Nothing's wrong with David Green. Shout out to David Green, but whatever. Like, they get lured in, and then I get the call like, "Yo, this is happening," and I'm like, "I can't help you,
I can't
bro.
help you.
Why didn't you?" And then they're like, "Oh my god, apologizing. Like we should have used you." And it's like, you coulda, you shoulda, you woulda, but, like, at this point, like, I can't do anything because I'm not involved, and it's like and then they're giving me their horror story of what's going on. I'm like, "Bro, your realtor shoulda fucking checked all that. You guys
Yep.
shoulda done an inspection. You shoulda done this." It's like, I can't help at this point. The only thing I can do is point you in the right direction, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So that
And
like those listening to this podcast or watching this on YouTube, like
yeah.
words of wisdom from Ricky. Like you signing a contract with somebody, make
Yep.
sure they're the right person for you. I mean,
Yeah,
like I
don't be
said,
afraid to
it's
fire them too. Like,
yeah,
you can fire people. If you
yeah.
don't if you
Well, something like that just happened, and
Yeah,
I got something to say about
exactly
that.
Let's go with story time, story time.
you know, talking about going into the listing presentation and them interviewing there are situations, divorces, separations, stuff like that, where they
Yeah,
are required to interview a certain amount of
exactly.
agents, right? And I know
Yeah.
Victor is going through one right now where he was part of that initial interview and ended up not moving forward with him.
Not getting it. I was
Mm.
a close second, is what they told me.
But now what?
But-
now what's going on?
But now what?
Yeah, what's going on now, Victor?
Yeah. So long story short, the agent they hired just wasn't producing to their expectations. It was an agent and it was a co-agent that the co-agent is, according to this is information coming directly from the wife and the husband, or ex-wife because it's
Soon to be or
it's
whatever
soon
it
to be
is, yeah.
divorce case. They just weren't, you know, doing their job, and they put the home on the market, listed it way under like market value, like it was 140,000 below market value.
Shit.
The home needed some attention, some love. I made it very clear to them, and they were kind of trying to force them to take an offer that they weren't willing to take.
Oh,
It was
shit.
over asking. Of
Well,
course,
yeah,
at
because
that
they're
point,
yeah, of course, anything's over
I mean,
asking.
it's one of those things that anything will sell if you keep lowering the price.
right. Well, but it was like, if I'm not mistaken, 100,000, almost 100,000 below what the home should actually sell for in that
Wow.
neighborhood. So they weren't taking it, and he was being pushy to take it, trying to force them to take it. They weren't going to do it. They were budging, so they wanted to cancel. They ended up canceling, hiring me, and they apologized. They're like, "Wow, like you clearly set expectations from the get-go. We didn't feel forced that we needed to do these things, but you said, hey, these are your options. If you don't do this, this is the results you're going to get. If you do this, expect this price. And if you do this, expect this price." And that's what I did. I said, look, I'm not here to force you to take any offer. I'm just here to give you your options. Here's the proof of the other people I've helped, and it worked for them. So I'm pretty sure it's going to work for you. Done. Got the job.
Yeah, and the thing is, the crazy part is the amount that he said, like, if they didn't do anything, you weren't that far off from the offer they were gonna receive.
Yeah.
It's just how it was delivered.
It was how
right.
it was
And then on
delivered.
top of that, the crazy part to me was there was several recent comparable homes that were on the market or selling. Same floor plan. Exact same floor plan.
Very similar in condition too. Very
And
similar.
one it was actually an agent. What's her name? Wendy
Moore.
Yeah, she's legit, right? She does heck of deals, right?
All over the place. Yeah.
Totally legit. Talking about seasoned agent, that's legit.
That's
super legit,
seasoned,
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she had one pending. I picked up the phone. I called her. She called me back within like 15 minutes. Her voicemail on point. Hey, you've got questions, leave them detailed, blah, blah. Calls me back. I say, hey, Wendy, we have a potential listing in your neighborhood. It's the same floor plan. Yours is a little bit nicer right now, condition-wise. Would you mind sharing what your a range or what you're in contract for, whatever you're comfortable with, so we can give our clients an idea of what to
Some
expect."
feedback. Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh yeah, we're in contract for, this. We're giving this credit, and we're closing on this date." I said, "You're the best." She says, "That's what we're here to do. We're here to help each
Help each
other."
other.
Boom.
That's how it should be. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like,
No.
and that just made Victor being able to relay that information to his now new clients. It was very eye opening. Like, wait a second, everything Victor told us is true. And then two, it's like, well, why are we trying to accept this offer that's gonna net us, 80 to 100 grand less?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing though.
I got all the information, man. I'm just gonna lay the dirt. Look, I asked all the right questions. They told me it was and I looked up the agent. Who's this agent that's offering the home, and who's the client? And,
Yeah.
like I can ask, because they're now my clients, and if they're willing to share that information, why not?
Yeah.
It was an out of state. It was an out of state buyer, investor. Has a profile and everything that they buy homes.
Yeah, investor.
So of course it was going to be investor. He was going to come in, buy the home at a super discounted price,
Yeah. Put
Put
a
in-
wig on a pig and
put-
put it back on the market.
and put it back on the
And,
market.
and win their equity.
And net more. Yeah.
And get
yeah,
their
yeah,
equity.
Yeah.
For paint
Yeah.
and flooring, for the most part, right? In the grand scheme of things. So it's just crazy, man. And it's like, well, here's the thing though. I love to hear your thoughts on this. It's like, now with social media, right? I know you're involved doing social media, like we mentioned before. You got Tequila and Transactions. You're big on doing the welcome home videos, like we do, the listing videos. And you guys are all, you're heavily involved. What do you think the impact of social media, positive or negative, has on like real estate? And I think, to be as vague as possible, I feel that the one Victor's talking about, this deal that he's now in process of listing and getting the property ready, I feel that the only reason Victor didn't, my opinion, the only reason Victor did not get the listing is because the person that got it has a little bit stronger presence on social media, meaning like more followers, in the eyes of social media, may look like they're the
More
better
successful,
or more successful agent.
The argument can always be, like, as someone that has over 14,000 followers, is, well, I have 14,000 followers. He only has 5,000, and use it against that agent and say,
yeah.
well, I'm better at social media. The numbers speak for himself, but doesn't explain, been in the business for longer and all these things, and started social media before anyone did, right? So it just goes to show you that clients or future clients, they need to be very careful on how, they see those things, because it's not everything.
No.
It really isn't.
No, and then you can go pay for or just send in an application to get NAREP top whatever, or get these like top awards and fluff all this stuff online. Yeah, I mean, I think it goes both ways, guys. I think I mean, shit, you could be a top producer on any social platform. Are you really top producing? I think the numbers should reflect what you're posting, right? So I think sellers need to be careful with that. Like, yeah, despite having more followers, I mean, followers can be purchased, and people need to understand that as well. Like, I think what sellers really need to look at, like, what's your engagement look like? I don't give a shit if you have 5,000 or 20,000. What's your engagement look like? Because some people got 50,000 followers and they got like 10 likes on their shit. So
Yeah.
how is that possible?
It could be bot followers.
Exactly.
It could be bots.
I usually show my clients like how many views I'm getting on my videos.
Yeah.
I'm not showing them my followers. I'm like, look, we did this video for our client. We got 5,000 views. That's 5,000 potential people that are looking at your house. Not only that, but like other things that we do, right? I show them the numbers. Like, I show them what exactly the results were. I don't show them like, hey, I got 15,000 followers, and if I post it on my page, you're going to see 15,000 people, or possibly see 15,000 people across the world, not
Yeah.
necessarily here
Exactly.
in this market or in the Bay Area, or people that are potentially buying my house. Like,
Someone
think-
in India isn't buying your home.
Yeah.
no, not, and especially not those fake accounts or like people. Yeah, it's like, I think people just need to be really careful about that. I think sellers need to ask more questions like, well, what's your engagement look like? Or what are your results? Or, how many homes have you sold? Or, like, what's your game plan for selling my house, kind of thing. I think those are the right questions. I think the wrong questions are like, oh, how many followers do you have? Or like, oh, like, what is your, what are you gonna do on social media? Like, anybody could do a fancy video. Like, we all know that. We could hire great videographers. There's a lot of great ones in our area. Anybody can go pay them
Shout
to
out
do that.
Shadow.
Yeah, for real.
Go media.
Yeah, shout out to Go
Go
too,
Go
and
Mia.
all the people we work with. But I think like we can put out great marketing. It's like, what do you do with it? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, how are you using that to sell my place? So it's like taking it a step further. So I mean, despite the followers, bro, it's like I think that shit's all can be purchased. It's all inflated. It's all superficial shit. Like even people posting like, "Oh, I closed this, I closed that." Like I used to do that. I used to do a lot of that shit when I first started, and they
Yeah.
weren't my closings. They were my team's closings.
Yep.
We can do that shit. Especially like I wanted to gain the rapport, so I was doing a lot of that to farm. Like, hey, our team sold this, our team sold that. But again, it's like I was inflating that, right? I didn't have that sort of experience yet. I was just my team did, I didn't. So I think it's important for sellers to understand that too, like that we're allowed to do that kind of stuff and like to really look into those numbers. But I mean,
And that doesn't mean that just because you haven't done, and I always say this too,
yeah.
like and circling back to this conversation we started about like seasoned and people using, oh, I've been in the business 20 years.
Yeah.
Just because you've been in the business 20 years doesn't mean that this person that's been in the business for 1 year isn't great as well, or
Yeah.
might even be better.
Yeah.
Because, not to toot my own horn, but I had 13 plus years of financial management and high pressure finance sales before being into real estate. I used to be in the industry where we would do 30 plus mortgages a month. We would do home equities left and right. I'm dealing with people's finances every day, not a house, not a tangible item.
Mhm.
You're giving me millions of dollars and hoping I don't screw shit up.
Yeah.
So me coming into real estate, already been a homeowner a couple times, and then telling how to people how to save money and stuff. Like I felt I was way more qualified than the average person's realtor starting off fresh out of high school or whatever, right?
Yep.
Being 35, already a homeowner, already been through the crash as a manager, knows what finance is about, knows more than most lenders, right? And it's just like, yeah, like you've been there 20 years. You don't even know what the hell the requirements are for a VA loan. Like you're asking me questions. You're telling me it's going to qualify for FHA, and I'm telling you no. There's absolutely no carpet in this house. It's under construction. It's not going to pass. How do you not know this? I thought you've been doing this for 20 years. So it's like I hate that because I think there's some super talented young,
Oh yeah.
fresh in the industry, young as in experience-wise in the industry, but there's just talented people.
Yeah.
You can't. That's why I don't like I've been doing this for 20 years. Great. You've been sucking for 20 years. How are you still in the business?
No, and going back to numbers.
It's like one of those things like, who cares? What does that even matter?
A new agent can do more business than someone that's been in business for 20 years.
Even that, like I feel like that doesn't matter to an extent where, okay, maybe, we're closing 30 deals a year. The team that's closing 100 deals a year. What does that matter? It doesn't matter to the point where, yeah, they're doing more volume. Maybe I don't want to do 100 deals a year. Maybe I want to have a life.
Or maybe they have 10 agents on the team versus two or three.
Two people.
Like,
yeah.
You can't compare that.
I would say quality over quantity all day. And if you're listening to this, I do want to still sell your home. So hit me up.
Feel like Mark said.
but what I'm getting at is it's like there's a level. I never want to like downgrade my service. So I know personally I can do about 4 to 5 clients at once.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually my cap. After that, I'm not going to be able to provide the same level of service. I just don't have the capacity. That's why working with like a business partner like Victor. And if he was busy, that's where having colleagues like Ricky, I can say, hey,
I have a referral for you, Ricky.
Hey, we got this great guy. I'm slammed right now.
I love
and Ricky has availability to fit one more person and he can help out. Like you're in great hands. I'll still be along with the process, right? Type of deal. When I do referrals, I like being a part of it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but I'll like to check in. I'll check in with you. Hey, how things are going. I buy welcome home gifts still. I still send anniversary cards. Even if I referred it out, even if it's another state, because I feel they came to me first.
Yeah,
so I want to make sure I want to maintain that relationship.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So like all these numbers, it's all relative. I think the common theme is like, just make sure you understand who you're working with.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what you said is like interview these people,
Yeah.
talk to them, see, get a little bit of an idea of who they are, what they do, and what they're like more than anything, what are they gonna do to sell your house? Because we talk about this all day, like, yeah, you've been in this for 20 years, yeah, you've been doing this, you've been doing that, like that's all great. That's what you did. What are you gonna do to sell my house? So, I mean, I think sometimes younger people are at an advantage. They got more energy, they got new ideas, they got access to all this technology. You know what I mean? Versus, quote unquote, a seasoned dinosaur. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not talking shit about those seasoned people because some of them are great. They
Yeah, they're
they they
great.
they rock it like a Wendy Moore or
Yeah.
like a Nancy Bennett or like these people who do a lot of freaking business and they do it and it's for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yes.
People like them, people trust them. Like even Renee White, like she's a
Yeah.
monster, bro,
Yeah.
and she's such a great person. Like you
Yeah.
you talk to these people, you meet them in the street, they're great people. Like just who they are in with their clients. And those are the people I like to work with, and I know those are the also
100%.
probably I say that you guys probably like to work with those people
Genuine,
too.
just
Genuine people,
Yeah.
like you see him in the office, like, dude, he's a cool dude, and then you
Same
and this
person.
same person
Yeah.
when they're on the other side of the phone. You know what I mean? And that's how we should be. We shouldn't be like, oh, what's up, Victor? Hey, Victor. Hey, Mark. And then behind the doors, fuck those guys, and just like, and then you know what I mean? I know what you guys be doing behind closed
We
doors.
do it all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's to those people.
That guy.
But it's those people who aren't genuine, right?
Yeah.
Who fucking are sleazeballs, who are gonna try to pull one over on you, or who just gonna just do some shady shit where it's like, bro, go get your own fucking clients. Get your nose out of where it doesn't belong. Like, you know what I mean? But sometimes it's just like, it just we gotta just see it how it is and move on. Like, what are we gonna do? We can't change their ways. They're gonna be doing that their shit no matter what. All we can really do is bring awareness to it, let our clients know. We could be careful about it. But I mean, yeah, man, it's the industry. The industry is very interesting. It's like it's forever changing.
Yeah.
So like you gotta literally like if you're not stepping up and pivoting and like sharpening your tools and
Adapting.
adapting, like if you're gonna be complacent, people are gonna fucking like people are gonna forget about you. And that's the thing we talked about too. It's like building that rapport, maintain those relationships, all that kind of stuff. Like you could do that all day, but if you're a terrible person, people are not gonna want to work with you. So it's like I think more than anything, it's like just do the right thing. Just be a good person. If you're not, just go somewhere else, bro. Like we don't need like the industry's so like we're
Yeah.
it's just so
We
much.
talked about that
It's full of so many fucking
diluted.
people diluted with people who don't really want to be here, don't really want to help people. At the end of the day, if you want to help people and that's what your passion is, you're in the right industry. But
Yeah.
if you're not, like you hate people and you're like miserable, just bro, retire, move on, do something else. Like let us handle it. Like we're gonna be fine.
Yeah. Send me a referral.
Yeah. Yeah. We
If you're in the industry to create all these funny, janky, weird reels, and that's all you're about, and rap about selling homes and stuff, and you don't actually do deals, maybe you shouldn't be in the business.
Yeah.
I'm
I
just
mean,
saying.
I mean, that goes with any industry too, right? Like
It is
there-
every industry.
any industry. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I always say like a lot of things nowadays, everyone just wants, we're like such an
Attention.
attention hungry society. It's
Yeah, we want
crazy.
like instant gratification on everything.
It's just like instant gratification.
what? They didn't like my post?
They didn't like my post. Posting stuff just to get to notice. And
Yeah.
you know, I know we're on this topic of genuine, man, and you know, you come off really, really genuine. And it's more than just the real estate side. So I'd love to spend some time talking a little bit about your involvement in Nora and
We gotta
Hell
go
yeah.
golfing, bro.
Yeah, we do.
Gotta go golfing.
I see.
I
I see
just
your.
got- I just got my clubs.
I see. Oh shit! Nice. Let's
Yeah.
go,
I
man.
just gotta get a bag.
Bro, literally, we just fucking go down the street and go play a quick 9 right now.
Right.
But I want to get into, you know, some of the work you do at Nora and some of these other
Yeah, man.
nonprofits and community, and like maybe give us a little bit of why you got into it and why
Yeah,
you're
of
so
course.
passionate about it, and then
Yeah.
like what they're about, because I'm sure a lot of people listening
Yeah.
would love to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I'm a person of service. Like I've always been that way. I think, me being an older brother and then me being a part of a huge Mexican family and my parents always being those people that are like willing to like take the clothes off their back and give it to somebody and just that's just I was raised that way and I feel like I should reciprocate that, right? So for me it's like just come from humble beginnings, like literally, like, I mean, even coming back to like my dad sacrificing everything to come to this country and working his tail off to give us everything we have. And my mom raising us, and, like, she worked a little bit when I was a kid, but she mainly raised 3 kids, like, she was a homemaker, so it's like my dad was the main bread earner, and, um, for me, it's like I come from that same, you know
Background.
American dream,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
the Latino looking at America, like, that's the land of opportunity, and, like, my parents wanted to give that to us, and my mom was born here, but she was mainly raised in Mexico, so for her, it's like, she doesn't she's American, but she was raised in Mexico, so, like, that's where like, she feels like everything stems from Mexico because that's
Gotcha.
where she was raised, like, my grandfather literally, worked out here, as a garbage man in San Francisco, but he also had his ranch in Mexico. So like he was always going back and forth, and like, they were part of a big family. They had like 8 siblings, and they would always be in Mexico. And my mom actually, like, when my grandfather got sick, was raised a lot in Mexico. So that's where she kind of like got to know my dad and all that stuff. But like, yeah, I think it just comes from, like, just family willing to give back, and then, like, being a part of a huge real estate family and everyone just kinda helping each other out, like, my parents owning property with family, and that's how they kinda got their start, like, owning a 4-unit building, and just with 2 other uncles and my dad, and just, like, literally grew the real estate portfolio from there, and, like, for me, it's like, growing up and seeing all the hard work and being a part of that, and like, spending my summers freaking changing toilets and sweeping stairs and like parking lots. And like, I always thought like my parents were maintenance
Yeah,
people and
yeah.
like had to earn everything I had. And then little did I know my parents are owners of these buildings. And I'm like, I'm over here fucking working my ass off. And like, man,
Hey, they had to watch the overhead costs to
exactly,
put you
man.
to work.
And I'm so grateful for that, bro. Cause like all that hard work, that
Yeah,
work ethic they placed in me, like really just helped me not be a kid with a silver spoon in his mouth, although I could have been. Like,
100%.
some of my cousins are, and you know who you guys are. But, I mean, me and my brother, I mean, my sister's a little spoiled, and she knows she is, but she's the little girl. But, I mean, I think that's just really what still to this day is, like, really what fuels me and drives me to give back and take the time to listen to our people because a lot of people don't. And don't and look at minorities like, you know what, but it's like, dude, their money's as green as everybody else's is, and I think, you know, we need to be a part of that conversation because Latinos are gonna be the main driving force in our I in the next 10, 20 plus
Yeah,
years. Like, Latinos are gonna be the major buyer pool because we're the majority now.
yep.
So it's like, if you don't learn Spanish, you're gonna be behind. And, I think we're all in this room a little bit at an advantage, but it's like, for me, it's all stems from that. And it's like, in college, I was part of a big Latino fraternity and just to give back too. And it was part about like, volunteering for the academic decathlon and volunteering for American Diabetes Association and Make a Wish Foundation and this and that. Like all these things that just volunteering was like just part of who I am. And I think it's my identity. Just like giving back fills my cup.
Nice.
And doing real estate also, helping people achieve their dreams and just being a part of that conversation. And I think for me, that's the legacy I want to leave behind, that I was able to help people achieve the American dream and help people establish their generational wealth. And I think for me, that's the most gratifying thing I can leave behind, I think, is just being little bit of part of people's journeys and like just being a part of that. And um, at the end of the day, the money's gonna come and go. But for me, it's like just being a part of that is really what allows me to sleep like a baby at night, I would say. But yeah, Nora came along because we were looking for an organization to be a part of. And Nora really kind of aligns to a lot of what I've been a part of in the past and part of what I feel like is my identity, and it's giving back to the community. It's more so impacting the community at a ground level, like doing certain things where we can impact the consumer more than
Okay.
the realtor,
Yeah.
versus other organizations who are more impacting realtors, right? Trying to like educate realtors, things like that. For us, it's more so like grassroots, like going into the community. Like our one of our main philanthropies is our Road to Homeownership. We just did this past week, last Saturday, and is where we essentially are just giving a free first time homebuyer workshop to the community, and it was awesome. To be honest with you guys, this is probably last year was our first year as Nora, and it was our first year even like doing any of this, so we didn't even know. Like it's
Yeah.
like they're like it's just a first time homebuyer workshop, and we're like, okay, cool. So we like try to be ambitious and do them on all these locations. It just didn't work for us last year because we're still a small organization, I mean, we're mighty, but we're small, but
Yeah.
still, it's like doing a lot on one day was a little too much. So we started toning it down and we're like, you know what, let's just throw one huge event a year and we'll just try to get as many people there as possible. And it was really successful. And I think mainly it was because we did it in a location where people needed it. It was in Oakland.
Okay.
We did at the 81st Library. Great location. Awesome library, great staff. I mean, everyone there is super cool. Everything is free to us. So like mainly it was just to inspire folks to even start thinking that way,
Yeah.
right? And we invited all the teachers. We invited like literally there's 2 elementary schools like right next to the library. We invited all the teachers, all their parents. We invited the kids. We were out there flyering, and we try to just get as many people there as possible. We try to make it cool for families to come out because again, a lot of Latinos have their kids on the
Mm-hmm.
weekends, and it's a
Yeah.
Saturday. We're asking them to come out, and a lot of people either work or have things going on, or it's usually the mom at home with the kids, right? So we're like, bring the kids. We're gonna have churros. We're gonna have popcorn. We're gonna have this. We're gonna have food. We're gonna have that. It ended up being a really cool event. Homebuyer workshops aren't the sexiest thing, as you guys
Yeah.
know. Like, yeah, like, you can market it all you want, but you can have 50 people register, maybe 20 people show up. That's just
Yeah.
the way it is. It's free. People show up, they don't show up, it is what it is. But surprisingly, I mean, we had almost 50 people register for English and only like 15 people showed up. And vice versa, we had like 30 people register for Spanish and like almost 30 people showed up.
Yeah.
So it was weird how that happens, but I was always telling people like people are just gonna register. Sometimes they forget. Sometimes they have things come up. But again, at the same time, I was like, don't count on Latinos registering. They're just probably gonna just show
Show
up.
up.
That's just who we are, right?
Just
We're
like
like,
they do at the
yeah,
quinceañera, bro.
exactly.
Yeah.
They never RSVP, but they will be there. Yeah.
For mine and my wife's wedding, and it was out in Southern California. It's mainly her family's a lot bigger than mine out here, and we had to make it a point. Like I had to sit down with her parents and be like, "You need to tell your brother and your cousin no kids are allowed." Like I had to be the bad guy. Like
That's
I
huge.
won't let
That's
them.
huge in our community, bro.
I won't.
Kids.
I won't
Yeah.
let them in the party. Like I won't let them because I'm not. I didn't pay for it. Like I got to pay for this. Like if I wasn't paying, everyone's invited. I'm paying. Like I can't. We said 100. I can't have 300 people there.
Yeah, I already told my wife if we ever have a party or anything like that, like if when we get married through the church,
Yeah, you got to cap
because
it.
we're planning on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kids.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's just it's. I feel like personally, it's an adult event.
Right, it is.
It really is an adult.
Yeah, the
event.
kids they're not gonna remember it. They're not gonna worry
Yeah,
about it. They're
you
gonna be out
know.
there just getting dirty with their cousins. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So
It's gonna be
So
kicking
you-
up. Yeah.
Sorry, it is what it is.
So the home buyer seminars.
That's one of our main philanthropies, the biggest one, and the other one that's really important to us is our Agents for Change scholarship, and I think that's the one that we're super passionate about because last year was like our first year raising money. We were able to raise exactly $4,000. We gave 5 $800 scholarships out.
Wow.
Everybody who applied got one. So if you guys listen to this, if you're in Alameda, Contra Costa County, you guys know anybody too who are freshmen going to college or their first years in college, they can apply. Right now we're already on the road to $4,000 and it's not even, we're barely 6 months into the year. So the goal this year is to raise 5. I think we're going to supersede that. And then mark your calendars down the street at Skylinks in Concord. We're having our Agents for Change golf fundraiser. And so it's going to be 9 holes, quick little 9 holes. There's going to be food. There's going to be awards. It's $100 a person, $350 for foursome. If you got 4 golfers, you guys got 2, just get 2 more. It's $350. But essentially, that whole event, every dollar that's raised for that event goes to our Agents for Change. And so I got a feeling my goal is we're going to raise at least $4,000 to $5,000 on that event. I think we're going to do it. We're already on our way to do that. We've already gotten a few sponsors and a few people signed up. So shoot, like I'd be a happy camper if we can raise $10,000 this year.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can give 10 $1,000 scholarships out, I think for me that'll be a huge win for my presidency. Like the golf is this is the first year we're doing the golf tournament, and it's something that I implemented because we wanted to really have like a staple fundraiser for our scholarship. And I was like, nothing funner than golf right now, and there's nothing cooler than having a
Is the
tournament for
tournament
golf.
open to
Anybody, anybody, and
okay.
everybody.
So we'll get that link, and we'll make sure we'll post that link
Yeah.
not only in the podcast, but also when we do our clips on Instagram, we'll post a link to register for the golf tournament. And then besides, people listening to maybe buy a home and have kids for the scholarship, people listening that may want to donate
Yeah,
to your
please.
chapter of Nora, how can they go about doing that?
Yeah, just reach out to us. We have a lot of sponsorship opportunities, whether you're a local business, anything like that. Just reach out to us. We have right now a few different levels for sponsorships for the tournament in particular, or if you want to sponsor us um, on a yearly level, or if you just want to donate primarily to the Agents for Change Scholarship, just let us know that day. We're inviting everybody. If you're not golfing that day, still come through because every beverage you buy, a percentage.
Skylinks is dope. They've
Yeah,
done a
dude.
great job.
If
Like
you guys
fixing that.
don't know, like Mark's saying, you got kids, like bring your kids and let them run around. Like they got jumper houses. Let them hit some golf balls. It's gonna be a really cool day, especially it's summertime. I think kids are still gonna be out of school
For the most part.
Yeah. So it's a Thursday. It's gonna be starting at like 10 in the morning. Or actually 10 o'clock is when I gotta double check. I think 10 o'clock is when we tee off. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be an awesome day. We're gonna pretty much be there all day. We literally got the whole thing locked down for us. So, come out, have a drink, hang
Tequila?
out. Oh, there's gonna be you
Oh,
know me. Just come
okay.
find me. Just come find me. You already know.
I'll bring a bottle, bro.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, I mean, come have a drink, come hang out. There's gonna be plenty of raffle items. There's gonna be a lot of stuff going on. So like, just come out and hang out with us. I mean, if you're a spectator, you just want to come out and hang out. It's free. Just bring your kids, let them run around. Buy some raffle tickets. That'll help us out a lot. But yeah, I mean, if you're a local business and you want to be shouted out or you want us to feature you, just reach out to us. We'll be happy to get you some more information.
Nice, man. And you can follow, and it's Nora. Let me spell this out for you guys. It's at NHORA East Bay
Mm-hmm.
on IG, right?
Yep.
So I know I'm saying Nora, but the H is silent.
The H is silent. Yep, it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Good
cool,
point.
man.
Good point.
Well, Ricky, we really appreciate you coming on our podcast today, man.
Bro, hell yeah.
A lot of great insight. You're always welcome. Doors always open. I guess when we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
I know vice versa. And hey, to everyone listening, make sure you follow Ricky on social media. It's at Ricky_the Realtor on IGs. I'm sure they can find you on
for sure.
Facebook and all those platforms as
yeah.
well. As always, we'll leave everything in the description below so you can make sure to follow him. He's a great guy, great colleague, great friend, does a lot of great things in the community. And I'm glad I was able to meet you through real estate, man, and look forward to growing our relationship.
Likewise, fellas.
Yeah, man. You know me.
Let's keep rocking and rolling.
So.
And on that tequila thing, but we got to talk about the golf. We get 2 more people. Thank you guys for listening to the Most Valuable Podcast. And with that, we look forward
to winning with you.